I'm going to talk a little bit about this Bibury multi-tool here. Multi-tools is one of the coolest inventions, in my opinion, of the last 50 years. And every time I use one, I think of what great-granddad would have thought if he had one of these at his job, in the coal mines or on the farm. There's been many different variations and designs of multi-tools that go back before Leatherman, but Leatherman was kind of the originator of the folding plier-based multi-tool, and that's it's my kind of multi-tool. I'll tell you, it's my favorite kind of multi-tool. They have ones that are just like a pocket, like Swiss Army knife is considered a multi-tool, and I do like them, but to me they're not as cool as folding plier-based multi-tool. Leatherman came out with the pocket survival tool in 1983, I believe, maybe 84, and it first sold in Cabela's. Cabela's was kind of the ones that backed them the most in the beginning. When people didn't believe in them or know who they were, Cabela's gave them a chance and did a production run, and that was the beginning of the end. What we've got here today is this Bibury, and as you can see here, that's not a USA stamp. Stainless, made in China. Leatherman's patents and designs expired, and so in the last few years there's been an influx of tools that are very similar to Leatherman's in design and function and tool sets on them. Some of them are so close you could call it a clone. Now these clones, you're not paying Leatherman prices, you're not getting Leatherman warranty, which is excellent. It's a 25-year, pretty much no questions asked warranty. If you snap the pliers or break a tool inside, you ship it to them, pay to ship it, and they'll fix it and send it back to you. You can pay upwards of $230 for a Leatherman, which I have. The Leatherman Arc, which is the newest one. It's in Magna Cut steel. It's on Free Series, which basically means the handles have a magnet here, and instead of having to open it like that, you can kind of just separate the tool and just flick it out, and it just freely, hence the word Free Series. I don't know how I feel about them yet. The Arc is the first one I've had that has free technology, and it's grown on me a little bit, but I really just don't mind doing that with two hands. This is kind of like the body, the external of a Free crossed with a Leatherman Wave in the way that it looks, closer to the Leatherman Wave and the tools that it has. Made in China. This is 30 bucks. For a Leatherman Free, similar to this one, you're gonna be paying 120, 140, upwards of actually 250 to 300 now, because they stopped making them, and so everywhere is sold out and people are trying to buy them up. You go to eBay, you could pay 300 bucks for a Leatherman Free right now. This is $30. You can buy 10 of these for the same price as one Leatherman Free, or 8 of these for the same price as a Leatherman Arc. And it will do 99% of what that Leatherman will do. But again, it is made in China. You don't have the 25-year warranty, and these steels are all much softer, and the metals on it in general are much softer. So if you're using it hard, you're gonna wear it out much quicker than you would a Leatherman. And if you do break it, you can't just send it to them for fixing. So that's the downside. But again, it's $30. On this one, we have 4 outside opening implements. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a pocket clip, which has really good retention. That is the main blade, which I have put a razor edge on it. You could actually shave with this sucker. Let's see here. I didn't use any shaving cream. See here, a little spit. Kind of hard to do on camera. It's pretty much shaving sharp. I could get it a little sharper. It came decently sharp. I hit it on the diamond a few times. It's one of my favorite styles of blade. One of the complaints I have with these though is the paint that is on it. We'll get into it in a minute when we open up the tool, but the paint comes off very easily. And so on the can opener, I was opening a can and the paint basically ended up in the food. Again, it's $30. What do you expect? You expect some DLC coating, extremely tough. No, it's paint. It's not Cerakote, it's paint. It's paint, bro. So we got that knife. We've got this serrated knife, which is good for rope, strap. It's got this hook you can use for either cordage or seatbelt, or maybe even gutting a fish. All of them have this big ol' thumb hole. It opens very easily. They'll lock up on mine. I've heard people complain that theirs is not good. The lockup on mine is perfect. I have no wiggle. There's no side to side play. Everything's lined up symmetrically. The plier head comes together very fine. You can actually pull a splinter out. We've got both of those knife blades serrated in a straight edge. We've got a wonderful pair of scissors right here. They cut very well. I cut like 4 or 5 business cards together and it went through them easily. You can cut cord with it, cuts inner tubes well. It's a decently sized pair of scissors compared to like the Leatherman Waves, are much smaller. It's great to have a pair of scissors around. Zip ties, a string hanging off your clothing. It's a great tool to have around. And then this side here, we have got a saw. The saw is tapered, so it gets thinner towards the top, so it doesn't bind up as you're sawing through wood. The teeth are very aggressive. I just sawing some wood earlier. We found a downed branch and I was making her a chew toy, throwing stick. Don't use saws too often, but it is cool to have on it. Especially when I'm in the outdoors, I prefer a multi-tool that has a saw on it. In town or at home, not nearly as big of a deal, but if I'm out in the woods at all, I prefer to have a saw. And you've got the basis of a multi-tool, which is the pliers. Again, they come together in a wonderfully fine point. It's one of the things I look for when I buy a new multi-tool, is how the plier heads meet up. The teeth are decent. I've used it a bunch of times and I haven't chipped or worn them out yet, which is good. So we've got the needle nose and you've got the regular plier for bolts or other stuff like that, a little bit bigger. You've got replaceable wire cutters and hard wire cutters. You can pop that out with a Torx wrench, put some new blades if you chip them or ding them up. And then on the inside of the handles here, we have got this small little file. It's not great. I prefer a full-size file. Say, take the saw out of the outside and put a full-size file. I'd be happy with either one. It just depends what you're looking for. And you can find multi-tools, whether it's a Leatherman or a Chinese knockoff, that have that exact thing, if files are your thing. This side is a shitty crosscut that probably would work for some things. And then this side, you've got a diamond, which is my favorite type of file. That's supposed to maybe be a small screwdriver. I wouldn't use it for that. I think it would just snap off. Here we have an awl. It's kind of dinged up the end a little bit already. It could be a little bit sharper, but it will work in a pinch and you could sharpen it up. We have a micro driver, so this is good for eyeglasses. I don't know what else they'd actually be good for, but mainly eyeglasses. I tend to use mine. I tend to use mine for cleaning my nails. It works really well for that. Phillips and flat. Make sure you get that in there, it'll just fall right out. We have this flathead screwdriver, pry bar, scraper, whatever you want to use it for. I almost always break these before I break anything else on a multi-tool. I'm always using those. Haven't broke this one yet. I bought this tool because I broke the one on my curl and I was gonna send it in for warranty, and I ended up losing it and I'm really sad about it. And I have no idea. I looked high and low spent hours looking for that multi-tool. It's a goner. Hopefully whoever found it had good use for it. That's all I can hope. And then we've got the can opener, which I've used to the point where all this paint, like I said, was ending up in the can of food I was trying to open. So I might just get the rest of that off there, especially on this tool, because I'll be using it for food. But the can opener works okay. It's not wonderful, but it opens up a can. And that's all that's on the inside of there. So we've got our file, our awl, our micro driver, our flathead, our can opener slash cap lifter slash, see this right here is like a wire stripper. It's a little notch. All of them work okay. Not excellent, not great, but I've used every single one and they all work okay. Haven't broken anything yet. 30 days of fairly regular use. And then the only other tool on this side of the handle is, and I actually like this more than Leatherman's, and I wish Leatherman would do this. I understand why they don't, because they try to make room for other tools, but I much prefer this 1/4 inch bit driver, which just accepts regular standard 1/4 inch bits, to the proprietary flatheads that they use, the flat bits. Flat bits work okay, and I hate on them a lot, but they do work okay. I just prefer this 1/4 inch. So we've got those tools. We've got the 1/4 inch driver. We've got our pliers, our wire strippers and cutters, and we've got our 4 outside tools, all for 30 bucks. Again, the steel's not gonna be as good as a Leatherman. You're not gonna have the warranty, but it's 30 bucks. We're in the golden age for multi-tools. It's the Bibury 20-in-1. You can find them on Amazon. Sometimes it varies. I bought mine for $29.99. I think I looked recently. They're going for $40. There are many different variations, as well as a few other brands that make them pretty much to the same standard of quality. Might even be coming out of the same factory. Die Camping, Dakoyu. Sure I'm pronouncing these wrong, and I'm not even going to try to spell it. But if you look for budget multi-tools on Amazon, you'll find them. Look at reviews, see what people say about it. They can be hit and miss. I say this is a good one though. The Bibury 20-in-1 Leatherman clone. I think it's 8.9 ounces. It's a little bit hefty, but it is wonderful for the price. And I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it. I usually don't buy clones or cheap knockoffs. The only one I've ever had was the Ozark Trail Wall Force, the Wally Walmart Leatherman Wave clone, which is actually great. I've had a couple of them, gave them away to people who didn't really deserve them now that I look back on it. But my only complaint with the multi-forces was my main blade. I only used it a couple times, and I probably could have took it in and returned it and they would have exchanged it for me, but I had a ton of play in the blade just after one use. I probably actually could have just torqued it down, but it shouldn't have happened either way. Walmart Ozark Trail Multi-Force, Bibury, Die Camping, Rock Tool, ROCKTOL, makes a new good one that comes in actually a great blade steel, VG10. I don't know if I mentioned it. These are 7 CR17 MOV, I believe. And then the frame is a 3 CR, which is a lot softer. Get one. See how you feel about it. For 30 bucks, you'll either love it or you'll hate it, and somebody else can get it as a gift from you and they'll love it because you didn't appreciate it. Anyways, that's about it.